Ladies and gentlemen, please silence your phones and direct your attention to our video screens. Ladies and gentlemen, please silence your phones and direct your attention to our video screens. Ladies and gentlemen, please silence your phones and direct your attention to our video screens. Ladies and gentlemen, please silence your phones and direct your attention to our video screens. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Greenbrier Resort and the 6th Annual Gamechanger Classic.
I've spent a lot of my life in West Virginia, playing basketball at WVU, cheering my sister on the court, and my brother on the football field. So I really care about the state, and especially young people coming up today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gamechanger Education and Community Relations Liaison and our MC for this evening, Meg Bulger.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of Gamechanger, I'd just like to say that we are so grateful that you are all here this evening. This event is always special to me because I love seeing so many familiar faces, but also meeting new people that are here to support the work that we do and learn about the impact that we are having. In the past 5 years, I have had the privilege to work alongside Gamechanger. I have traveled all over the state, speaking to students, teachers, and community members about the dangers of fentanyl and substance misuse, but more importantly, about prevention. I had the opportunity to see the impact in real time, people stepping up, wanting to make a difference and get involved. In a few short years, Gamechanger now has over 1,000 peer leaders. We have been able to present the Gamechanger program to over 250,000 students in more than 300 schools. Tonight is an opportunity to be proud of the progress the students, educators, schools, and supporters in this room who continue to step up knowing that the battle is far from over. And we have an opportunity to hear from a lot of those people tonight. We also have some very special announcements coming this evening, along with an absolutely incredible keynote speaker, Greg Norman. We are honored to have him tonight, whose success and leadership has been inspired people all over the world on and off of the golf course. So let's start this evening with probably a man that needs no introduction. He is a person that can just put people in the right place to make things happen. Gamechanger Chairman of the Board, Larry Puccio.
Hello and welcome. Cannot thank you enough for being here with us this evening. I always start by saying thank you so much to the superintendents of school, the principals, the teachers, and the coaches. These are the folks on the front line. They make a difference. They work with our young people. They have a passion, and we appreciate them so much, and sometimes we don't have an opportunity to thank them enough. We appreciate everyone in this room. You see, you don't only invest in this great cause, you take time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today. So I can't thank you enough, and the Gamechanger group thanks you so much. Today I'd like to thank all the speakers. the folks that have spent their time driving here, coming to participate and getting up and speaking to us, our elected officials and others. So thank you so much. I'd like to start by thanking Senator Manchin. He always steps up and gets us our guest speakers, and we depend on him. So we don't ask, we kind of say, come on, brother, find us the right person and get him there to speak. And he's done an outstanding job again this year with Greg Norman. Special thanks to our title sponsor, Albert and WVU Medicine. Stepped up this year, and they're our title sponsor, and we appreciate them so much. Our gold sponsors, Hope Gas, Morgan O'Brien, was coming, and the flight got a little detour because of the thunderstorms. And CNL Ventures, Devanna Corley and her team are with us this evening. Thank you so much for what you do. With us this evening is our First Lady, Denise Morrissey, and we appreciate it. She was with us last night. She was with us last year, and we appreciate what she does and the passion she has for the young people, especially foster children in the state of West Virginia. Tonight we thank a friend that's been with us since day one, and he's here tonight, our friend Rusty Hudson, the chairman of WVU Board of Governors. We'd like to recognize our two United States attorneys. Moore Capito from the Southern District is with us, and Matt Harvey from the Northern District is with us. We appreciate you being here. Gail Manchin, the federal co-chair of the Appalachian Regional Commission. Gail, thanks for being with us. You've been here, I think, since day one. We certainly appreciate you. West Virginia Director of Drug Control Policy, Dr. Stephen Lloyd. Certainly appreciate the work that you do. Representing our Attorney General tonight, J.B. McCuskey, is Josh Barker, the Director of Substance Abuse Prevention and Recovery. Thank you, Josh, for being here with us. Two of our state senators we had seen earlier that are here. Our state senator locally is Vince Deeds, and our state senator from Kanawha County, Tom DeCubo. Thank you all for being here. Tonight we have a guest that came in. You know, every year we get some surprises. We really get some surprises. And this guest came in to be with us, Bernie Kosar. And we thank Bernie for being with us. Bernie's a national champion and a Hall of Fame quarterback. And Bernie said last night at our welcome reception, he said, you know, I was considering coming to West Virginia, but I heard they were talking to this Manchin guy about playing football. And I looked over at Manchin and said, boy, did we get screwed. Anyway, I want to recognize our board, our board, the Gamechanger board. Listen, these folks step up, they do it, they're busy, and they volunteer, they come to things, they just step up and do all the right things. Some could be with us tonight, a few couldn't, but I want to recognize them. Of course, Joe Bosick, our executive director, is a board member. David Alvarez, John Ebert, Karen Farmer, Angel Moore, Becky Pomeroy, Brian Wall, Superintendent Doris Stutler, and Leah Summers. Board, thank you so much. You're always there. There's a young man that stood out to me. Last year he showed up, and I was so impressed that a college athlete would give thousands of dollars to this nonprofit to save kids. And he came. And he came and donated. And he is out of West Virginia now with the world of the portal and all. He's playing out in Illinois. But he donated again this year. And just the thought, a college athlete sends us thousands of dollars. His dad's with us tonight, and it's Ken Marchio, and his son is Nico. What a bright young man. Thank you to Commissioner Greg Duckworth, who is a member of the West Virginia First Foundation. We appreciate Commissioner Duckworth being here. The founders of Gamechanger are all here tonight, Joe Bosick, Don Robinson, and Bernie Dolan. Thank you, guys, and you've done great things. Marshall University Athletic Director Gerald Harrison, Director, appreciate you being here. And a West Virginia guy that we said last year had finally came back home, and we're glad he did. Coach Tony Gibson from Marshall University is here. The best way we can explain this next one is he is the architect of WVU baseball, the past coach Randy Mazey, who's produced unbelievable things. We thank the Greenbrier. They step up and they help and do things for us to make it possible for us to be here, and we really thank them every year, and we appreciate what they do. Again, it's a great cause. It's working. I say it's working. Our students see that it's working, and I tell this maybe every year, you have to hear it, but nothing excites me more than when I go to one of my granddaughter's soccer games or track meets, and I have a Gamechanger shirt on, and a student walks up to me and they point to their Gamechanger shirt, and they're proud to be Gamechanger. These students are changing the lives of other students. Stay at it, stay with us, and thank you again so much.
Thank you, Larry. Our next speaker is someone whose vision and leadership helped start all of this. His energy and passion that he brings daily to fight for the youth of West Virginia is unmatched. Please welcome Gamechanger Executive Director Joe Bozick.
Six years, unbelievable, huh? 6 years. Governor Morrissey, Senator Capito, Senator Justice, former Senator Manchin, distinguished members of the Gamechanger Board of Directors, and ladies and gentlemen. 5 years ago, we stood before you and shared a vision without fully realizing just how much that vision would evolve, grow, and improve. Over the last 5 years, Gamechanger has experienced challenges, praise, and criticism. While we have never claimed to have all the answers, we've never stopped pursuing them with one guiding purpose: to help save the lives of our youth and teens in West Virginia and across the nation. From the beginning, our mission has been to take a holistic approach, thank you, Governor Morrissey, to developing the most innovative and effective K-12 evidence-based prevention education program possible. Tonight, you do not hear me tell you what we're going to do. You're going to see what we're doing. And it's not because of me. It's because of the people I'm honored to introduce tonight. These are the administrators, leaders, and everyday heroes who make Gamechanger possible. They truly are the best and the brightest. And if you remember 5 years ago, I talked to you about the best and the brightest. I would ask each of you to please stand and remain standing as I give you the credit you truly deserve. Bernie Dolan and Don Robinson, who along with me founded Gamechanger on October 20th, 2018. Lance Puccio, our Director of Operations. My right and left hand in keeping me everything moving forward, the Administrative Assistant to the Executive Director, and a godsend, Madison Atkins. Our Director of Development, Denver Allen. Many of you already know Meg, who has been with us since the beginning, traveling throughout the state as our education and community relations liaison and hosting our podcast, The Game Plan. Mary Jo Capolzi of MJ Marketing and Brianna Duckworth Kanzer of Go Duck Media, who lead our marketing and social media efforts and produce The Game Plan. And Shelley Poe, who years ago joined me in the staff at West Virginia University in 1981, and after a distinguished career in athletic administration at WVU, Ohio State, and Auburn, continued to serve our volunteer as a director of media relations. There simply is not enough time to fully express how much Gamechanger benefits from the daily dedication and contributions. Thank you very much, all of you. In 1992, many of you in this room will remember the United States Olympic Committee voted to allow professional athletes to compete in the Olympic Games for the first time. The result was the legendary Dream Team, featuring Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Charles Barkley. They won the Olympic gold in a dominant fashion, defeating opponents by an almost astronomical amount, 43.8 points per game. It was a moment of tremendous pride for our nation, but no lives were saved. I believe Gamechanger has assembled its own dream team. And as I go here tonight, I want them all to stand. A dream team prevention educators, all individually accomplished, working together for the betterment of programs, better communities, and a better West Virginia. These individuals are helping save the lives of our youth and teens every single day. And I am honored to introduce them to you tonight. Please stand and remain standing. Dr. Michael Heck, Director of Prevention Science. Dr. Heck earned his PhD from the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. He's a professor emeritus at Penn State University. He has authored 6 books, published 231 articles in prevention education, and secured more than $20 million in federal foundation grants throughout his distinguished career. Dr. Marianne Corsello, Director of Programming and Evaluation, joins us tonight via Zoom from Maine, where she's helping care for her newborn grandson. Dr. Corsello earned her PhD in developmental psychology from the University of New Hampshire. She has a master's degree from Tufts and a bachelor's degree from Northeastern University. Paige Mathias is Director of Prevention Outreach, and Shelley Mize is Director of Prevention Education. Paige and Shelley are both certified prevention specialists too, and Gamechanger specialists. Both hold BA and BS degrees, and both are very much involved in our day-to-day prevention education programming. Gamechanger prevention specialist Nathan Settle recently earned his Certified Prevention Specialist 2 certification, bringing Gamechanger to a total of 3 Prevention 2 Prevention Certified Prevention people in the state of West Virginia out of only 30. Gamechanger Director of Support is Kim Legg, a nationally certified school psychologist, holds bachelor's and master's in educational specialist degrees. Jo Marie Chandler is a specialist and director of family engagement. As a parent of 3 daughters, this role could not be better suited for her. Jo Marie is a certified teacher and holds a bachelor's degree. Gamechanger specialist Dina D'Annunzio, who also serves as the Director of Community Engagement, holds a bachelor's degree in psychology, a minor in elementary education, and is a certified teacher. And Ashley D'Annunzio, Gamechanger Specialist Associate, holds a bachelor's degree and a classroom teaching experience. Thanks. I need that. Over the last year, this team has met challenges head on. We've learned from our criticism, and we've become stronger because of it. Together, we are developing Gamechanger into an evidence-based prevention education program that the state of West Virginia and soon the nation can be proud of. My hope is that this evening, all of you who've been with us for the last 6 years will watch and listen, and you will become as proud as I am of this team. And to everyone here tonight, thank you for believing in this mission and for providing the resources that makes this team possible. Just like NIL, we're only as good as the money can come, and you've all helped us greatly. I want to thank you all. We're on our way. Please watch this film.
You know, everybody thinks it can't happen here. It can, and it did.
West Virginia, you know, we have an opioid crisis here, and it's sad.
I have seen drugs taken over the community. I started to see students that I was their teacher, and I was attending their funeral.
It's a scary thing, and it's really rough on a lot of people out here.
A lot of us, like, our lives root from addiction. My dad had addiction, I lost my brother to addiction, and my grandparents both had an addiction.
And like we have generations upon generations of like substance abuse.
I grew up around substance use, and I really did not want to follow in those footsteps.
You've got grandparents who should be retired raising their grandkids because either the kids' parents are in jail for doing drugs, selling drugs, or have passed away from using overdosed, and it tears families apart.
Why do you guys think that kids engage in unsafe behaviors?
Whenever Gamechanger became an opportunity for us, it was almost like we had leveled up. Somebody noticed us. Somebody wanted to provide our little small town with resources.
Gamechanger is a student-led organization that helps like outreach through their schools and their community about substance prevention and healthy habits.
You can see the change here. If you'd have came here 4 or 5 years ago and then you come here now, there's been a drastic change in our percentages and the surveys we take about the healthy decisions students are making.
It's kind of like, you know, playing Russian roulette or gambling.
A lot of people have big plans for their futures here, and they all want to do something big. If you want to do something big, you have got to follow through with not choosing substances.
What are some things you could do to kind of turn an unhealthy trait into a healthy?
The younger you educate them, the better it's going to be for them.
Kids are more aware. Their eyes are being opened to everything that's around them.
How you would talk with them about it.
The tide is turning.
This is so hard because you can't go backwards.
Gamechanger has definitely taught me different ways to say no and help others make that same choice.
And you'll see a lot less of high school students like making bad decisions or vaping or like using substances or drinking alcohol.
They love it whenever, you know, I send out a message, hey, tomorrow wear your Gamechanger shirt. And they wear it with pride.
You probably wouldn't have seen a kid in my day wearing a Dare shirt around the school. It wasn't cool to wear that. These kids, it's cool to wear that shirt around the school.
Gamechanger has been phenomenal for our community and making it a better place to be.
You got your football players, basketball players, your cheerleaders here in the high school, going to the elementary school 2 miles up the road. Those are those kids' heroes. and they're coming in here and telling them, you don't want to do this, this is what it does. That means so much. Have them kids hear their heroes say that.
Middle school kids, they see that football player on Friday night and that he's cool and he doesn't use, and I can be cool like him. So it's just like a domino effect.
Gamechanger literally makes me feel like I have people in my corner at all times.
It's like giving you a heads up in life.
It shines light on like being able to say no and not like looking like uncool or like unfun.
Gamechanger's a cool thing to be in.
It's like stopping the cause from the root.
We're all like connected by like one belief, and we all think we need to make like good decisions.
Just me being a game changer now, it's helped me like help my parents just realize the risks and help them get on their feet even at my young age.
Obviously, it's a prevention program. It focuses on substance misuse, but like it's teaching kids to just be good humans and to give back and be a good friend and love one another.
Nice job.
Hopefully it continues to spread throughout West Virginia and even throughout the United States in general.
This is not fizzling out. It is burning stronger and getting bigger. I'm Nikki Mattingly, and I'm a game changer.
My name's Kurt Thomas, and I'm a game changer.
Tucker Statler, and I'm a game changer. I'm Peyton Hall, and I'm a game changer.
I'm Logan Pennington, and I am a game changer.
I'm Rylan Eddy, and I'm a game changer.
I am Delilah Henderson, and I'm a game changer.
I think that after watching that video, there's nothing more honest and impactful than hearing the testimonies from the students and teachers that make that impact daily. So please welcome here tonight from the video, Game Changer coach and Monongalia County Teacher of the Year, Nikki Mattingly.
Thank you. Good evening. As Meg said, my name is Nikki Mattingly, and I am the Game Changer coach at Clay Battelle Middle High School in Monongalia County. And I have also been the Game Changer coach at our feeder school, Mason-Dixon Elementary. So this is my first year taking on 3 schools, but I enjoy it greatly. The students in the video that you just watched, they're mine. I couldn't be prouder of them. That film was completely unscripted, raw, and from the heart. I am very proud and grateful that the Game Changer program that our Game Changer program was chosen to do this film. It made it even more special to me that my 6th grade, 12-year-old son, Grayson, got to be a part of it, because he is now one of my 40-plus Game Changer students at Clay Battelle Middle High School this year. Thank you. I had the honor to speak to you all 2 years ago about the program from a teacher's perspective, and the response was very overwhelming. I am proud to say that, as you can see in the video, the Game Changer program is alive and thriving more than ever, touching more students in West Virginia every day. Joe called me a couple of weeks ago and said that they thought it was time to hear from the real changers of the game tonight, a student. I told him I had just the right guy for the job. It is my pleasure to present, for the first time ever, one of over 1,000 student peer leaders in the state of West Virginia, and this young man has been a part of the Game Changer program since he was in 7th grade. He is one of my students, Mr. Parker Bain.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Parker Bain, and I'm a sophomore at Clebatel Middle High School. I play basketball, baseball, and golf for the Seabees, proudly wearing blue and gray. But outside of my school colors, you'll see me wearing purple and teal, because for the last 4 years, I've proudly been a part of the Gamechanger program. Tonight, I want to first say thank you. Thank you for believing in students like me. Thank you for investing in schools, communities, and programs that are making a real difference. And thank you for helping Gamechanger become something students across West Virginia can truly count on. When I joined Gamechanger 4 years ago, I was a timid and nervous 7th grader. I looked up to the older students in the program and admired the confidence they had. Honestly, I never would have imagined I'd one day be standing in front of a room like this, speaking to all of you. But Gamechanger changed that for me. This program gave me confidence, it gave me leadership skills, it gave me presentation experience, and taught me how to step outside my comfort zone. Because of Gamechanger, I learned how to use my voice instead of hiding from opportunities. That's the power that program has on students. What stood out to me most from the beginning was that Gamechanger gave students a voice. It gave us leadership opportunities, it gave us positive friendships and role models, and most importantly, it gave us the ability to stand up for ourselves and for each other in the fight against substance misuse. At Clay Patel, Gamechanger has become something our school is truly proud of. Our chapter is recognized across the state, and I believe that success comes from one simple thing. Students believe in it because students lead it. Every year, our group starts by setting goals. We talk about what we want to accomplish, events we want to sponsor, and ways that we can change the game in our school and community through awareness, involvement, healthy activities, and protective factors. This year, one of our biggest goals was creating a strong partnership with our feeder elementary school, Mason-Dixon. We kicked off that partnership by busing 3rd through 5th graders to our school for a special movie featuring the Gamechanger Elementary program, You Have What It Takes. Honestly, you would have thought those kids were headed to Broadway. They were just so excited to come see us. After that event, we visited them at their school to do follow-up lessons and activities. The bond we're building with those younger students is really something special. They look up to us, and we take that responsibility seriously. I truly believe those relationships can change the future for healthier lifestyles and better choices. Our group has also organized projects like our Super Bowl food drive, where we collected canned goods for local blessing boxes throughout our community. And every year, we host a pre-K field trip where the littlest students come to our school to spend the afternoon playing games and interacting with us. To them, we're the big kids that they look up to, and getting to be positive role models for them really means a lot. That's what Gamechanger is all about. It's not just assemblies or events, it's relationships, it's leadership, it's community, it's students creating positive environments for other students. Honestly, it's just good stuff. Because the truth is, students today face pressure everywhere. Social media, stress, wanting to fit in, wanting to belong, sometimes it can feel overwhelming. Programs like Gamechanger remind students that they do have choices, they do have support, and they do not have to follow negative paths just to fit in. I've seen firsthand how this program changes people. I've seen quiet students become leaders. I've seen students gain confidence they never knew they had. I've seen our school come together through positive activities, positive friendships, and positive decisions. And I think that's what prevention really is. It's not just telling students what to do, it's giving them something better to be a part of. That's exactly what Gamechanger does. Because of this program, students feel connected, they feel valued, and they feel like they matter. And when young people feel that way, it changes lives. The impact you are making reaches far beyond one assembly, one event, or even one school year. Your support is helping create stronger schools, stronger communities, and brighter futures for students all across West Virginia. I know that because I've lived it myself. Gamechanger helped shape who I am today. It helped me become a better leader, a better teammate, a better example for younger students coming behind me. So tonight, on behalf of the students at Clay Battelle and students across our state, thank you for continuing to believe in this mission. Thank you for giving students opportunities to lead. Thank you for helping create schools where positive choices are celebrated. And thank you for helping us continue changing the game for the next generation. Have a great evening, and thank you again for your support.
Parker, I'm out of a job in a couple years. Fantastic job. Nikki and Parker, thank you guys so much, though. I think everyone in this room, you can hear it from your testimony, what you live daily, and really appreciate you guys sharing your stories. So thank you so much. Before our next speaker, I'd like to also recognize here tonight State Senator Ben Queen and Delegate Jordan Maynor. Thank you so much for your continued support for Gamechanger and everything you do for the state of West Virginia. It is now my honor, ladies and gentlemen, to have with us this evening from London, England, the CEO of Dubbit, whose clients include Adidas, Starbucks, NASCAR, Google, KFC, Facebook, and now Gamechanger. Please welcome Mr. Matthew Warnford.
This is amazing, first of all. I had no idea when Joe said, you've got to come along, that it was going to be anything like this. I'm thrilled to be here, first of all. My company, we build digital platforms for young people. They're used by tens of millions of young people every single day. We've mentioned the customers that we work with, and you've noticed from my accent that I'm not from round here. So you're probably kind of thinking, well, why is this guy bothered? Why is he bothered to come? I brought my family. We had 2 trains, 3 planes to get here. And the reason is, I fundamentally believe this needs to exist in the world. And the reason is, 8 years ago this month, my father passed away. On that very day, I learned that my eldest sister's son was not only addicted to Class A drugs, he's now selling them, right? And he is in a really bad way. He is struggling, it's tough. The person at the wake, when we learned about this, that discovered it at the time, was my other sister's husband, who lost his brother to a heroin overdose when he was 14. Within the last month, the minister at my church back home has had to take a sabbatical because his daughter, and this is very tough, but is not only severely addicted, she was enabled by him because his position within the church, he didn't know how to deal with this, right? And my point here is, I never encounter any of this, any of these drugs. But these are all young people who are, and it's not just here, it's a pervasive problem for young people everywhere. And so I think technology can genuinely help solve this. And I'll kind of give you an example of why I believe this. So first of all, right now, my daughter, she's 4. She's learning to swim. We don't ask her to read a book to learn to swim, right? We give her a safe environment where she can practice until we know we can trust her in water. We have to do that for young people with prevention. We can't just give them the skills once. We have to allow them to practice that. And that's what we're building with Gamechanger University, is a platform through which young people can be given safe scenarios enabled by AI. So this has only been possible in the last 6 months, that allow them to practice responding to some of the difficult situations they will encounter as they grow up, as they interact with friends, on a digital platform, such that when they need those skills in the real world, it's not the first time they're having to apply them. And so that's what we're building with Gamechanger University. That's why I wanted to be here to talk to you guys about it, because I think it's so incredible, the support that's making this possible. And it's also what I believe needs to exist in the world for again, being a new dad, it changes your perspective of the world. I want this to be that. I don't want to see my daughter go through what my immediate family have gone through in the last couple of years. So again, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. We've got a demo video coming up, but yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
There are moments every young person will face. A choice, a dare, the pressure to fit in.
It's kind of hard, especially if it's like your close friend peer pressuring you to try and do something you don't know. Like, you don't want to say no and upset them, but you know there's going to be a risk if you say yes.
Evidence tells us that what they decide in that instant could change everything. But now, there's a powerful new way to help them prepare for that moment before it even arrives.
Let's play a game. Dude, you know that old building behind the plaza? I heard there's all kinds of cool stuff left inside. We should totally go check it out after school today.
Wouldn't that be dangerous?
Yeah. Gamechanger University takes a futuristic approach to prevention education, using advanced technology to deliver evidence-based and evidence-informed lessons that include navigating peer pressure.
I'm good, dude. I don't really want to go check out some old building.
Developed by PhD-level experts, certified prevention specialists, and teachers, the interactive platform is a direct extension of Gamechanger's existing curriculum.
Hey guys, I heard about a mysterious cave. There could be dangerous stuff in it. Wanna come?
Come on, don't be such a scaredy cat. It's just an old building, not a haunted house or something. Since when are you the one who doesn't want to do anything fun?
I'm not a scaredy cat, kid.
Well, if this was reality, you wouldn't feel comfortable doing that.
I don't want to be grounded.
It's like someone who's teaching you things to not do and what to do when you get older.
You're being so paranoid right now. It's just a school ID, not like some top secret document. You sound like my mom or something.
Because real life isn't one size fits all, Gamechanger University will personalize the prevention education experience, bringing extensive individualized lessons to every student, K through 12.
I only offered because I thought you were cool. I guess maybe you're still a little too young for this stuff.
It probably wouldn't be a great idea and our parents would probably notice.
Yeah.
It will offer a choose-your-own-adventure journey that listens, supports, and meets each player where they are without judgment.
It's like it gives real scenarios that you can be in.
It's gonna be so fun, but honestly, can we please not invite Jordan this time? They've been so annoying lately.
It was fun because it gave you like a situation that was kind of like reality, and you got to make your own decisions in the game.
Are you seriously gonna chicken out on me?
Yes.
Gamechanger University will transform screen time into purposeful practice, where students can safely navigate real-world peer pressure.
It's what the kids love. It's on the screen.
Yeah, maybe we can do like...
And they couldn't wait to do more, and it was pretty cool and powerful.
Everyone in our group chat should post a selfie holding up their school ID. It's like our secret club badge. I already got mine ready to go. You in?
No, I don't want to get in trouble. Peer pressure is like hard to like handle, but then you know what to do.
This playable, interactive learning experience will become the cornerstone of Gamechanger's evidence-based system of prevention education.
Or like giving you confidence.
I think being able to put your foot down and be like, this isn't who I am. It's a powerful thing to be able to advocate for yourself.
Upon completion, Gamechanger University will reach into classrooms throughout West Virginia and beyond. Because when the real moment arrives, our kids should already know their answer.
It asked you over and over, but every time I said no.
Matthew, again, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's so meaningful, and unfortunately, because too many of us have experienced the same here in West Virginia. So thank you again. Gamechanger University is truly going to be incredible for these kids and change lives. As you can see on the screen, in the center of your tables, there's a pamphlet with, I recognize that man, Greg Norman, who's right in front of me, right on this pamphlet. There's a QR code, and if you can scan that or go to GameChangerUSA.org, we are looking to raise, to kick off Gamechanger University, we're looking to raise $50,000 tonight, which will be matched. So if we can get to that goal, it'll be matched for a total of $100,000. I graduated, so I know that that's $100,000. So that would be very, very incredible for Gamechanger University to kick this off and really jumpstart it. The Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America, also known as CADCA, is one of the nation's leading organizations focused on empowering communities through prevention, education, and advocacy, while working with coalitions across the country to create positive change. Please direct your attention to the video board for further education on the work that they do.
CADCA's mission is to equip coalitions with the skills, knowledge, support, and tools to build healthier, safer communities globally.
CADCA was founded as an outgrowth of President Bush's drug-free advisory committee. One of the recommendations was that these nascent coalitions needed a voice in Washington to set up Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America, which is now CADCA.
The crux of what we do is elevate prevention efforts. So that is, how do you solve the problem before it ever starts? And a part of that is through education, through empowering them with the knowledge that we have from the experts to communities through the transfer of knowledge.
CADCA is the premier organization when it comes to training in this field. No matter what background they come from, to take that training into their local communities, tailor their implementation strategies.
We support them with events like our National Leadership Forum, where we bring them in for in-depth training for a week.
And it's very impactful because we really meld the science with evidence-based practices, with new strategies that people are coming up with. And the secret sauce is 600 youth who are trained to be spokespeople and leaders in their communities and get actively involved as equal partners in the coalition.
So we have really strong connections with our sheriff's department, with our health department. That's been really impactful because we can actually get into the schools and reach youth who we may not have reached otherwise.
CADCA's commitment to youth is really founded in this notion that they are at the point of the spear. We believe that not only will they be remarkable citizens, but they'll also be empowered to help other youth.
We provide training so that people become community change agents. And the results are incredible. CADCA's coalitions have reduced alcohol, tobacco, youth drug use, crime, and gang involvement in the places where they have been built.
It is an amazing training. I have 7 coalitions that have gone through it and have been awarded by simply going through the strategic prevention framework. Prevention is the key element for everything we do, and CADCA stands on that.
CADCA, the premier prevention association, is proud to partner with Gamechanger and Gamechanger University to champion prevention where it matters most, uplifting youth, strengthening communities, and shaping a healthier future.
Just quickly, I had the honor to sit down with General Barry L. Price this morning and speak with him. And if there is somebody that you want leading, serving, and fighting for stronger communities in West Virginia, it is this man. So please, it is my honor to welcome CADCA CEO, General Barry L. Price.
Let me say, I wear glasses, and it was dark at my table. And I've stood on the border on November the 9th of 1989 as freedom prevailed in Eastern Europe and wondering what was happening because no intelligence had told us we were going to do that. I've sat across from terrorists in Baghdad, ISIS. And I will tell you, I've never known fear like the possibility of following Parker on the stage. And so, Parker, where are you? Where is that young man? Where is he? I am so glad I didn't have to follow Parker. So it was a neoclassical writer, La Rochefoucauld, who wrote in Maxims that there is nothing as contagious as example, and we can never perform a good nor evil deed without producing others of the sort. And I want to say to Chairman Puccio, Larry, where are you? Yeah, Larry, and to Joe Bozick, who is my new BFF. Joe and I speak probably every other week, at least, and we have developed this phenomenal friendship that has turned into a phenomenal partnership. And so I have two announcements, and then one invitation. And the first announcement that you saw at the conclusion of that video is that CATCA is now in partnership with Game Changers and Game Changer U. The second one is, Joe, I want you to know that we see you, we hear you, and we want to honor you. And so, can I go to the next slide? This is a representation of CATCA's highest award. It's entitled the Major General Arthur T. Dean. That's not me, that's a different general. Arthur T. Dean Humanitarian Award. It's the highest award that we give out annually. And this year, with consensus, unanimous consensus from our board of directors, from CATCA's Coalition Advisory Council, and from our staff, that we unanimously, try to say that 3 times fast, selected Game Changers as our humanitarian award winner for 2026. And that's a big deal. And so the last is an invitation to the governor, to Senators Capito and Justice, to former Senator Joe Manchin, who is a huge champion for us. We want to invite you all and the Game Changers board and you all to join us on October the 8th in Washington, D.C. as we present this great award, this humanitarian award to Game Changers. Thank you for the phenomenal work that you're doing. God bless you.
Falling down in the list of speakers now. Parker, General Price, probably a little further down than that, but can we just give another round of applause? Joe Bozick and Game Changer, everyone involved of what you've done. To receive this award is such a high honor. So thank you to CATCA and General Price. I think I'm gonna fall back again. It is an honor to welcome the first coach of Game Changer and our first mascot of Game Changer, United States Senator Jim Justice and Baby Dog.
Oh, this stool is really, really strong. And it's been well tested for a long, long, long time. Let me just say this. I can't see all of you, but I can tell that there's a pot full surely here. And you're here because you've been infected. You've become believers. You know, it's almost like you're it, no tag backs now. So I would say, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you in every single way. You know, there's a lot of really, really important people here. That's all there is to it. I mean, there's celebrities, there's legends of sports beyond belief. Greg Norman is here somewhere. You know, so many, and Greg has come, you know, to do something that's unbelievable. I know your time is very precious, and to come and be here with us in West Virginia, off the chart. I got to tell one story real quick about Greg, and that is when we had Liv here, and I hate you, Greg, for not doing it anymore, but I'm only teasing. But I can tell you that it was great. We loved every minute of it. But I can tell you the most profound thing that I saw in Greg Norman was this. We'd already had 18,000 architects do different things to the old white course. And he went out there in a golf cart and rode around for almost no time and made 2 or 3 tweaks to that golf course that nobody had ever mentioned. One was the 16th tee, to move it back on the other side of the bridge, which nobody had ever thought of. He's a smart guy, and he's a champion, and we're really honored to have him. So please give him another big round of applause. Now, you know me well enough to know that I'm not going to sit up here and just be, you know, real serious with you and act like I've got a mouthful of mashed potatoes. I'm not doing that. So I would say this to you. For all the celebrities that are here, and you're really, really, really important, and for all the legends of sports that are here, the coaches, unbelievable, all of you, the dignitaries, the business people, the people that are absolutely turning the wheel every day, you are so important, it's unbelievable. But I'm telling you, and I know it's hard to imagine, but you can't hold a candle to the popularity of, come on, baby dog. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, girl. Sit her down. Come on, baby. Let me tell you this. Day after day after day in the Capitol, I only take her with me about every 7 to 10 days because she gets out of gas, and she's been with me all day today. We've been to the mines, and we've been everywhere under the sun, and so she gets out of gas, and so from time to time, well, not from time to time, every day, you go through all the media. Now, I'll never forget this, and I could be wrong about this, but I think, and Joe and Shelley and many others here, but especially Shelley today, because Shelley really is a superstar beyond belief, and Joe too, in every way. But the thing that astounded me the most about this little orientation that I went through as a U.S. Senator was just this, and that was, I think they said that there is 7,000 media credentials in the city of Washington, D.C. So that means there's 7,000 people that can be all around everywhere, all around you all the time. It's unbelievable. It's flat unbelievable. But when I'm going through, and Shelley knows ever so well, when I'm going through, they don't say, oh, there's Senator Justice. Every one of them are yelling, where's baby dog? All the time. And so she really has a profound impact on all of us in lots of ways. Now, I mean this. She makes you smile. She loves everybody. Bulldogs aren't supposed to do that. But the other thing is just this. With that, over and over, I say things like, you know, does the message have to be any more complicated than just that? I mean, if we loved everybody and we made others smile, it'd be a heck of a lot better world. Now, let me just transition from that just to this. You know, when two guys came to me in the beginning and they said, we want you to be our head coach of Game Changers, I thought, well, what in the world is Game Changers? And Joe Bozick and Larry Puccio were standing right in front of me. And they said, we can make this go, but we need you to be the head coach. Well, I've been a coach forever and a day. And you know how much I love kids. And you know how concerned I am about just the very reason that you're here. You know, just think about this just for 1 second. Just the other day, in fact, it was Memorial Day, we were going to the grave sites, Kathy and I. At one of the grave sites area, there was a young man, and his first name, I won't tell you his whole name, but his first name, Cody. Nice looking kid. You know, kid probably in his 20s. He's running a lawnmower and all that kind of stuff there. And he says to me, he says, you know, I met you one other time. I met you when you came to Davis Stewart. And I was just a younger kid there and everything, but I'll never forget what a profound impact that had on all of us there, especially a bunch of my buddies. And now to have the opportunity to meet you again is unbelievable to me. Then he said just this. He said, you know, my mom and my dad were horrible parents. From the earliest of my age, because they were both crack babies themselves. They absolutely were involved in so many drugs it was unbelievable, and they were wanting us to be involved too. And that's why we ended up where we ended up. He said, I had 58 placements in my life. You think about it. What's the chances? What's the chances of him being who he is today? He's married. He's got 5 children. He's absolutely tells me over and over very, very proudly that he doesn't have anything to do with drugs. So many are out there that are starving for you in every single way. And you deliver. And you're here now. You're here now with your pocketbooks. You're here now with your wisdom. You're here now with all the good stuff that makes me, as your head coach, look a whole lot better than I am. I'll never forget Larry and Joe. And look what this has blossomed into. It's unflat believable. You know, the other Joe was behind that. Shelley was right involved. We all jumped in. And then, lo and behold, boom, 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 boom. At the same time, Kathy was involved in communities and schools that is paralleled in many ways. It's just absolutely, some way, somehow, reaching out to our children saying, here we are, and we can really help you. And we're standing here ready to help you. We want to help in every way. There's so many issues in West Virginia, it's off the chart, and we all know that. You being right here, right now, means so, so, so much. I just saw Rusty. There's so many that are here that just do everything for this unbelievable state. But the bottom line to this whole thing is the drug situation was and can still be the very thing that cannibalizes us. You had to step up, didn't you? You really, really had to step up. So for the Codys of the world that I just mentioned to you a second ago, and all those that are out there that every single day you're absolutely making an impact. You're making an impact when they're this big now, and you're making an impact to put them on the right path. Let me tell you, I'm a coach. I've coached basketball for 5,000 years. I've got to tell you this story real quick. But we were in a state tournament. We hadn't lost a game. The first 11 games we played the toughest competition you could ever possibly imagine. And we could have lost 8 of those games, but some way we didn't lose a game. And there we are in the state tournament. We're in the semifinals, and the game's on the line. And all of a sudden, and I did this with my team all the time, I've got a timeout. I'm looking right at them, and I said, all right, now I'm sorry, it's the finals. I'm looking right at them. We're 26-0. It's the finals. I'm looking right at them, and I say to them, we've been in a 4-man, one-man zone. We could switch back to a diamond press, or we could go back to our 2-2-1 press and fall back out of that in either a 2-3 zone or 1-3-1. Absolutely, those kids know exactly what I was talking about. But I always looked at them and said, are you seeing something that I'm not? And then I turned to them and I said, what do you think? And they turned back to me, and the captain of the team looked right at me and said, Coach, we want to do what you want to do. Now, I am here to tell you just this. I knew at that very moment there wasn't anybody that was going to beat us. And I know at this very moment in my life there's nobody that's going to beat you, and this drug situation is not going to beat any of us. Because you believe. You bought in. Now, I'll end by just saying just this. In your life, you'll find things like, life becomes not a race but a maze. And there's times when people are doing stuff to you that are just horrible, and you absolutely are just thinking, good God, what in the world's going on? If you're really fair, you'll know in your life God made every single last one of you who you are for a reason. For a reason. I mean this with all my soul. I'll work and I'll try just as hard for kids in my life until my very last breath. The reason for that is just this. Now, many of you are probably retired, and I hope you are, and I hope you enjoy life in every way, and I thank you for all the goodness that you've done every way. That's your decision. But in my decision, in my world, I really believe that the good Lord looks back at me and says, look, I gave you the brain. I gave you the creativity. I gave you the enthusiasm and the passion and all the things that you need to do good stuff. And then really and truly, in my world, if I said, nope, I'm just going to retire and just hang out, hunt and fish, play a little bit of golf, that's what I like to do, I think the good Lord looks back at me and says, I'm not happy with you. I made you who you are for a reason. And that's why I really say just this. You have the passion, you have the love and the enthusiasm to drive on and on and on. That's why you're not hanging out somewhere right now. You're here because you bought in. You bought into a movement that started with a couple of the most unlikely people on the planet. And lo and behold, then it became the super odd couple plus one with me. But really and truly, all of us bought in. So the last thing I'd say to you is just this, last thing. If you watch me on the sidelines a lot of times, and you've probably heard me tell this story before, but if you haven't, you really need to listen. If you'll see me on the sidelines a lot of times, I'll be running up and down the sideline when the game is dead on the line, and I'll be holding 3 fingers up on this hand and 2 on this hand. And I'll be screaming, the count's 3-2. And what I mean by that is just simple. And that's just this. All of you know enough about baseball or softball here to know that if your team was bad, your team was the visiting team, the home team, and you were in the field, and the other team, it was their last bats. You're the visitor, they're the home. It's their last bats. And you're one run ahead. And the bases are loaded, and there's 2 outs. Bases loaded, 2 outs, you're on second base. Bases loaded, 2 outs, the count on the batter is 3-2. That's me screaming. The count's 3-2. Now look, if you're standing there pounding your glove, saying, Lord, please don't let them hit me the ball, because you're worried you'll mess it up. I don't think there's a single solitary person in this room that's pounding their gloves saying, Lord, please don't let them hit me the ball. I think every last one of you are the people that I would tell my team that you got to be. You're going to mess up some. The ball's going to be hit to you in life sometimes, and you're going to fumble the ball. But you've got to be standing there pounding your gloves saying, hit me the ball. I'll make the play. I thank every single one of you from the bottom of my heart, and I mean every word of it. You see, Jim Justice doesn't blow smoke at anybody. I love you. And what you have done here, for God's sakes a living, is unflat believable in every way. And the only thing I would say in closing is just one word, or maybe one sentence, and that is this. I wish you the best. I hope you have the most fun. I hope you have absolutely the most great relationships with one another and have the most great conversations and everything under the sun while you're here to Greenbrier, and love these people, because literally they are the very best people on the planet that are taking care of you. And with all that being said, the only thing that I hope you do is I hope you lose like crazy in the casino. God bless all of you.
Thank you very much, always, for your continued support, Baby Dog, and also Senator Justice. We do appreciate it. Double down. Make sure you guys know, play on 16. We want you to win. It is my pleasure, though, to introduce one of Gamechanger's greatest supporters from the beginning, United States Senator Shelley Moore Capito.
Thank you, Meg. It's great to be here. I don't know if I should do this because everybody's taller than me. I want to tell you, if Meg tells you sometimes that she can't play golf, she's not telling you the truth, because we were in a foursome last year with Mary and Elise Smith and had a great time. And thank you for what you do for Game Changers. Thank you, Joe, and Mr. Puccio. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here. I just want to tell you that Senator Justice has really pushed me into a major life decision. I am getting an iguana, and I'm going to put it on my shoulder, and I'm going to walk around the U.S. Senate so they can ask me how my iguana is today, because Baby Dog overshadows me every single time she comes up there, and that's tough. I got a great pleasure today to sit next to General Price. He was wonderful. CADCA is a great program, and the partnership with Game Changer is just amazing. And we have great CADCA communities, and I know some of the advocates are here today. And I want to also echo what everybody said about Parker Bain. I know my job's in danger after hearing him. He'll be a great campaigner. So I just want to add very, very briefly my congratulations to everybody. The progress has been made. Larry invited me with Joe to go to Marion County to see East Fairmont and Fairmont High Schools join to Game Changers, which makes every high school in Marion County a member. But what was really cool about it was they had the elementary, middle, and high school kids, so you could see the mentoring that was going on from the youngest where the prevention needs to begin, that Game Changers is so keyed on. So thank you for the privilege of being in Marion County. Thank you for the privilege for being with you all tonight. And part of what I get to do as an appropriator, and Joe can tell you this because he was one as well, is I get to oversee a lot of the appropriations to go to the very fine programs that we're talking about tonight. So all of you here, a sincere congratulations, a thank you. Let's keep up the fight. It's a fight worth winning. We know we're winning. We're doing better. We just got to do better and better. And also thank you for letting me be a game changer, and thank you for the privilege of letting me serve you in the United States Senate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, as always, Senator Capito and Golf Coach. It is an honor to have with us this evening the 37th governor of our great state of West Virginia and supporter of Game Changer, Governor Patrick Morrisey.
Well, where do you begin after you just follow Baby Dog, right? That's pretty hard. You know, I want to say thank you to everyone who came here tonight, because I know when you come to an incredible event like this, you're giving not just your precious resources, but you're giving just a little bit of your heart and soul. Because I think all of us know that the opioid epidemic has been very personal to so many people in our state. And so that's why I really think we all owe a debt of gratitude to the leadership of Game Changer and the work that's been done by Joe. Joe used to call my office constantly when we were putting the West Virginia First Foundation together, and I applaud you. Seeing what you've done, it's unbelievable. Larry, I appreciate you. Meg, thank you. Thanks to our U.S. senators. And I'll echo it again. Parker's got a great future, so consider it a clean sweep of all the speakers. Parker, you win. You know, I don't think you can't be touched by the videos that we saw tonight, right? You can't help but know that this is something very special that's going on. And that's part of what's been motivating me as your governor, because I think I want to work to make the state have the brightest future possible. And I look around the room and I see people that care, people that want to take on the biggest challenge of our time. I've always been fond of saying that fighting and winning the substance abuse epidemic, that is the challenge for all of us here. Because there's nothing more important than to help save someone physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And that's what's being done by this program. And that's why it's so special that you're stepping up and you're being so supportive of what's going on. I think we all have a mission. We're here to make West Virginia that shining state in the mountains. But to do that, we have to protect our most precious resources, our kids. And we have to think about that every day. For too long, our state was playing defense on the opioid epidemic. But that slowly but surely began to change. I know that when I served as Attorney General, I worked hard trying to file those lawsuits, and West Virginia ended up having over $1 billion in settlement money. #1 per capita in the country. And that was important. But what was more important than that was actually setting up a structure which allowed West Virginia to heal. And that structure, something I spent years working with the counties and the cities, there were many incredible people who worked to put that together. I think that's making a big difference in people's lives. You know, when we think about tackling the substance abuse epidemic, we think about addressing it from a supply, a demand, an educational perspective. That's what Game Changer is doing. I remember coming in as Attorney General and looking at the tools of the AG's office thinking, we need to be doing a lot more prevention work, education work. Like many of you, I grew up during the DARE era. Remember that? And I used to think that was the standard bearer. And when I came as AG, we didn't have something like that in place. So I worked to try to step up. But I will tell you, there's nothing like being overwhelmed when you look at what Gamechanger's been able to do in such a short period of time, touching over 70,000 people. Think about that network of over 1,000 peer models, peer coaches. That's something that comes through the effort and the energy of people in the private sector. And what you have here tonight, with all the people that have come here and the work of the U.S. senators trying to help with resources, and the state and the West Virginia First Foundation and folks like WVU Health and people stepping up on the private sector side, what you have is the makings of an incredible public-private partnership. That's what we tried to do with the West Virginia First Foundation. It's really unprecedented in the country, leveraging the resources from the settlement together with private donations. We have an unbelievable opportunity to keep building on the success, and Gamechangers at the forefront. If you look at the recent statistics in West Virginia, it's an exciting time. You know that opioid deaths have dropped 48%? Now, we have a long way to go. Can we all agree on that? We have a long way to go. But we're making progress. And it's because of people in this room and a collection of people. It takes a team to win. That's what you're seeing with Gamechanger. You're changing the rules, and you're winning. And I know we're going to do everything we can on the state level as your governor to continue making the changes to help facilitate more recovery. I know I have a unique opportunity to serve as your governor at a time when West Virginia is poised to bring in $1 billion for rural health transformation. That can make a huge difference. And let me tell you why. One of the biggest problems I see in West Virginia is that we have a huge issue with workforce participation, right? I think we all know that. 54.3% at the bottom of the country. We have to change that. Well, how do you change that? Well, one of the things you do is you look at the core reasons why our participation rate is so low. So many people are in poor health. We have to better fix that. That's part of what that transformation project is all about. Looking at different ways to move the needle, to address all the terrible outcomes we have: diabetes and obesity, congestive heart failure, substance abuse. That's what we're working on. And if we're even moderately successful in that, we can change and save so many lives. Think about this. If you can improve the lives and the outcomes, and you could drive the workforce numbers up just 2 percentage points, right? 54.3 to 56.3. Just imagine what that does for our state. Then we have a lot more people in the workforce, and that creates a virtuous circle. Better health care leads to increased standard of living, strengthening our economy, more efficiency, which then allows more resources to be invested back in health care, and the virtuous circle continues. Getting more people in the workforce also means addressing the terrible behavioral health and addiction problems we have. And that's why I was so happy to come here tonight to celebrate what you're doing to make a difference in the lives of so many West Virginians. We do have a lot of work to do, but thanks to Gamechanger, thanks to the work of so many people here in this room, your elected officials, I think we're going to make that difference to allow our wonderful state to be that shining state in the mountains. That's what it's all about. So I'm so grateful to be here today and to listen to all these wonderful speakers. And I will say I hope to spend a little bit of time with you after this and let you know, West Virginia, we're on our comeback, baby, and we're going to be doing great in the next few years. And I want to thank you for all of your investments to make our state the best in the nation. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Governor Morrissey, for your support and your message. It is an honor now to introduce our next speaker. He has dedicated his life to serving the people of West Virginia. Gamechanger has been fortunate for his support from the start every single year, as Larry Puccio mentioned. He continues to bring stars to our table. Our friend, former United States Senator Joe Manchin.
First of all, thank you so much for all of you. As I would say on all of our elected officials being here tonight, it's wonderful to have the governor and first lady here. Thank you very much for being here. To have our senators, Senator Justice and Senator Capito, all of our state elected officials and all the county officials, all of you. We're all in this together. There's not a person in this room that doesn't have someone that they know in their immediate family, extended family, or friend that hadn't been affected. It's everywhere. It's an epidemic, and we're fighting it one person at a time. I want to say this for Parker, as we all were amazed, Parker, at your ability to stand here as a sophomore and speak with authority, speak with conviction. Everything that we have done, all the people that have asked to participate, basically they see the return on their investment when they see you. You basically represent a whole class of students who are benefiting by this program of Game Changer. I'm a proud Game Changer. My wife Gail, my friends Joe and Sandy, all of us, we're proud Game Changers because we know what you've done. But you all turning out tonight and showing what you can do and even more. We're going to meet every challenge that we have, and we're going to save every child that we can. So we're all in this together. It's one thing that brings us all together. No matter what your political beliefs may be, what your ideologies are, we are all in this fighting this as one people, West Virginians fighting a terrible addiction that we know that we can win, really. And I've said this before. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can teach a pup how to do the right thing. And when you teach these kids to go back home and says, no, this is not right, we're not going to live this way anymore, it makes a difference in their life. But we are blessed to have a real good friend, a dear friend, my dear friend, with us tonight. And I'm going to introduce, basically, before we go into that, I'm going to have a little video here that we want to show you at this time to introduce our friend Greg Norman and hear a little bit about who he is. Okay?
I was a boy from Queensland, and in Queensland you grow up with a lot of critters that want to kill you. That made me trust myself, and I trust my instincts, I trust my gut. When I became a professional golfer, I went to the next level. What I did on the golf course was impactful for myself and for the game of golf, but that translated into something much, much bigger. Totally understood what it took to build a brand, to create the brand in perpetuity. And then I understood how to build a business and what to do with that business. Now the players on all the golf tours around the world are playing for more money. There's been a quantum shift in the game of professional golf. Brisbane 32 is going to be the North Star of the Olympics. It's one of the biggest honors I could ever have had bestowed on me, to be honest with you. Greg Norman Golf Course Design is the key passion of mine. When we look out on the fairway or the development, you say, boy, that golf course looks like it's been there for 20 years. That's what I'm the most proud of. So to see the places we have gone to and the awards we've achieved, it's because of our philosophy. It's because of our approach. I am the go-getter. I will go aggressive if I need to go aggressive. A lot of very exciting things ahead of me.
To show a real West Virginia welcome to a dear friend of ours, Greg Norman. Greg, please come up. We've changed the venue a little bit tonight, and it's a little different than what we've done in the past. Greg came in and he said, Joe, I'd like to do something a little bit different. And I said, great, whatever you want to do, we'll do. And he says, let's have a little fireside chat. Because, first of all, he will not brag about himself, but I'm going to bring it out, what he has done and what he continues to do. And, Greg, you want to say a few things about being here?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Joe. Do I have to address you as Joe or Senator?
Just Joe.
Just Joe, okay.
Those days are over.
That is the beautiful part about West Virginia. I love all you people here. I've been here a couple of years now, and we'll get into that later on. But I sit here and I wonder why I'm sitting here. And I'm an Australian. I'm not a US citizen, even though I asked Trump the other day to get me a citizenship. I never heard back from him. I think he's a little busy right now, but anyway. But I'm an Australian sitting here. I've lived in this country for 45 years. I've seen a lot in this country. This country has given me a lot. You saw a little bit of snippet of that up there. And I'm proud of the fact that I'm an Australian citizen, but I'm a US green card holder, but I'm more American than I am anything else. And that doesn't mean anything other than to say, if you all look back, step back, and take a deep, hard look at this country, it's an amazing country. It's amazing. And forget who's in the White House, and forget who has the House and the Senate. It's all of you. It's all of you that make this country. You vote when you vote, and you vote who you think is the right person at the right time. But when you come to events like this, you actually hear it, you see it, and you feel it. There's two words that really, one word that was missing out of all this tonight was the soul of it all. The true essence and the true soul of what is happening here with Gamechanger. And you hear the speaker speak, but they speak with resonating force about what you truly do recognize, which is a failure here. And it's not just here in West Virginia, but you are here in West Virginia. But it's a failure. But what happens if you really become successful like the United States? You take failure and you make it a success. And nearly 250 years ago, that's what the United States did. So when you distill the macro level down into the micro level here in West Virginia, you all should sit back and be extremely, extremely proud of yourself. America is the most philanthropic country in the world. I don't care how much you give or how little you give. America's philanthropic. You believe in your causes, and you attack those causes with such a passion that I saw tonight. And I admire that. And I want to thank Joe for calling me up about a month ago, maybe a bit more than that, 2 months ago, and said, hey, what are you doing on such a day? And I said, I'm actually in the United States. And he said, could you come up and be a game changer and speak to us? I said, very quickly, one word, 3 letters, yes. And that is a true testament to the individual sitting to my left, who's looked after all of you a couple of miles to the east of here, looked after all of you with the passion and the belief that he has for this state and for this area. So to you, Joe, I want to thank you, buddy. I want to thank you. I know we're going to get into it, but to everybody involved with Gamechanger, congratulations to all of you.
Well, let me
6
say
years
just
is nothing, but let me finish. I got the microphone. But 6 years is nothing, but 6 years is an eternity. And your next 6 years should double the previous 6 years and keep doubling and keep doubling and keep doubling down. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Greg. Well, let me just say, if President Trump heard that introduction, that speech right there, I'm sure he's going to call you back about that citizenship. Let's get started. We want to know a little bit about the Greg Norman, the real Greg Norman. Were you born with a golf club in your hand? Were you raised? A little bit about your background, where you came from. How did you get into this golf at this level?
It was a pure accident, actually. I was a really, really good surfer. I grew up on the Great Barrier Reef. My father moved out from a little bit to a town a little bit south, and it was really the surfing mecca of the world, Noosa Heads in that area. And I grew up with a surfboard underneath my right arm. And I went to school, yes. I got through high school, which I thought was pretty good. Never went to college. My dream was just to be a surfer. And then where I grew up in northeastern part of Australia was with the RAAF, Royal Australian Air Force. And I lived right underneath the flight path. And I dreamed to be a fighter pilot. There's a dear friend of mine sitting down here who likes to fly, Andrew McKenna, and we've talked about it many, many times. And I've been blessed to get, again, back to America, and I'll answer your question, Joe, back to America because of my ability to hit a white ball from point A to point B better than most. I got to know generals, and General, it was a pleasure to hear you speak. I've got to know generals and admirals of the Pacific Fleet, and I've been fortunate enough to go up and fighter pilots, fighter jets, with the best of the best, because I could play golf. And how did I get to play golf? My father sold his business, moved south. I left all my friends, and my mother at that time was a 3-handicap golfer. She was 5'3", 100-pound wringing wet, but she could play golf. I'd never played the game of golf before I turned 16. Never picked up a golf club, never hit a golf ball. But I saw my mother. Actually, when we moved down to Brisbane, my mother went to play golf on one Thursday afternoon. It was in holiday time. I was bored batshit, excuse my French. And so I went out and caddied for my mother. And there's the last 4 holes of Virginia Golf Club, went in, out, or back to the clubhouse. And she goes in, sits down, sits with all her good friends and has a cup of tea or a gin or whatever, I don't know. But and I took her clubs. And I played 4 holes. And that Saturday morning, I joined the junior clinic. And my first handicap was 27. My first official score was 108. I won my first professional golf tournament in under 5 years. So how did that all happen? I don't know. I think the genes of my mother, who just turned 95 last week, and thank you, and my ability to surf. And I've spoken to Kelly Slater about this. I don't know, in West Virginia, I don't know how many surfers are in West Virginia, but Kelly Slater, world champion, I think 9 times or 11 times. And we've talked about it often. He's a scratch golfer. And the proprioceptions of understanding where your body is in space on a surfboard, dropping in with a double overhead, or where your body is when you're swinging a club head at 128, 30 mile an hour, where is it? Those minor movements that make you really good at making minor adjustments to get that ball from point A to point B. So that's how I started.
Let's talk a little bit about this career. When it took off in 1976, right? You turned pro? How
Correct.
fast did it get to where, or faster than you thought it could ever get there? And then how long did it stay there?
I won the 3rd professional tournament I ever played in. And that, I won $7,000, and I thought I was the richest guy in the world. Because I was an assistant pro to get to this process. I was making $28 a week. And my last year, I was making $32 a week. And that's when I came up with this strategy, which I still use today, 30, 30, 30, 10. 30% of my income tax, 30% cost of living, 30% whatever, and 10% slush fund. And I still use that today, no matter how successful I am or whatever happens, because you've always got to give that hedge. So I won the 3rd tournament I ever played, and then I went to Japan. I won the 1st tournament I ever played in Japan the next year. And then from there, Japan, I went into Europe, and I won the 1st tournament I played in Europe. So I got this meteoric rise, and all of a sudden, this long, blonde-headed guy from Queensland, grew up on the Great Barrier Reef, was started to get spoken about in the media.
331 weeks as #1 golfer in the world. 331 weeks. I mean, yes. Those of us in politics, the governor sitting there and the senators and everyone sitting here, if we got 331 good days, it'd be a wonderful time. Anyway,
Yeah, but you have more crap to deal with than what we do.
Well, speak about this 331 weeks. How did you maintain that level? They were coming at you from all different angles.
Look, I think it's belief in yourself, resilient, and your tenacity and your dedication and your commitment. And above all, it's the sacrifice you have to make to be the best you can possibly be. And no matter whether it's in golf or whether you're a general in the field of combat or the governor running a state, hearing what these kids were saying, identifying the strength within yourself. And also identifying your weaknesses. And they identified their weaknesses, that's why they became strong. And my whole life is, I've always felt like, what is your weakness? You wake up in the morning, every morning, 3 things I say to myself. What are the 3 things I want to achieve today? I first start off by brushing my teeth every morning on one leg for your balance. So I change morning and night, right leg in the morning, left leg at night, or whatever. So I do that, and I look at myself in the mirror after I brush my teeth, and I say to myself, what are the 3 things you want to achieve today? So some of them are almost impossible tasks because you need other things to happen to get to there. But if you don't push yourself and believe in yourself, then you're never going to get there. So that's my daily routine.
We're going to talk about some of the highs and some of the lows in Greg Norman's life. So let's start. Where in the heck did the great white shark come from? That shark.
Great question. 1981. I hadn't played golf. I'd been in America, but I really hadn't played much in golf in America. And my first U.S. Masters. And after 36 holes, I was leading the U.S. Masters. And the media didn't know who the hell I was. So I go into the press room, and they, where are you from? Queensland, Australia. What'd you do in Queensland, Australia? I grew up on the Great Barrier Reef, and I swam with sharks. They look at you like an idiot. You swam with sharks. I said, yeah, we have, bull sharks, tiger sharks. We have all that. And I grew up on the Barrier Reef, so they're always around us. And so the next morning I woke up. It says, Great White Shark leads U.S. Masters in the Atlanta Constitution. And then from there, I got a relationship with Reebok in the mid-'80s, and the head of Paul Fireman then, who owned Reebok, started the Greg Norman collection. So we needed a logo, and because I was a great white shark, and in Mexico I was Tiburon, in China I was Dabe Shah, in other places of the world, we're all related around the great white shark. So we came up with a logo in the mid-1980s, the shark logo, and it still exists today.
How about some setbacks or some low parts in your life that you might wonder?
To be successful, you have to have low lights.
You definitely do.
Definitely. I've had my butt handed to me by, it depends on how you want to frame it, to be honest with you. Personal, financial, golf, business. You can have all these different buckets you can go to, but you should never forget them.
Which one? 1996 Masters.
Joe, why did you bring that up?
I had to. They told me to.
I think
we were all rooting for you, brother.
No, I know. I was rooting harder, believe me. I think the couple of gut punches that got me the most were back-to-back chip-ins. The Larry Mize chip-in was in the Masters. But previous to that, the PGA Championship, Bob Tway, his best mate, chipped in to hold a bunker shot at the PGA Championship the year before. So with back-to-back majors, I went, oh, God, this game is cruel, man. It's cruel. But it also taught me to be a forward thinker, and it also taught me that it's just sport. I got no control of what anybody else can do. I have control of what I can do. And if somebody else hits a magnificent shot, you have to respect that. Tough. It really is tough. But those 2 back-to-back were the ones that stung the most.
Well, with your notoriety and you're able to play golf with anybody in the world and all these celebrities, I would assume you play golf with quite a few presidents. So if you could tell me which president you think is the best golfer and which one may be fudged a little bit. You might want to leave the fudge out. Let's just say which one played the best golf.
I would say I'm gonna reverse it. I would say the funnest guy to play golf with was President Bush 41, because we had to play golf in 90 minutes, because his slogan was "Leader of the Free World," which he was. So he had work to do. So we only had 90 minutes to play. I'd go up to Kenny Bunkport and play golf with him, and true, he'd have his golf cart that was maxed out, governor was taken off, and he was off. And if you didn't keep up with him, he'd leave you behind. And so it was such fun. And then we'd get back to the house, and then we go down to his boat, and his boat would do 60 mile an hour too, just like his golf cart. So everything he did was super fast paced. I don't know what he was like in the White House, but or the CIA, but he was the funnest, most beautiful person to be around. And Barbara, his wife, was equally the same. Then his son was pretty good, but the two most interesting ones, I think where you want to go, Joe, would be Clinton and Trump.
Yep. Did those two ever play golf together?
Oh,
Clinton and
God,
Trump?
I'd love to see that happen. There was an interesting situation where I had, everybody remember the tsunami that hit Indonesia back, well, who was in power then at the time was Clinton. And Clinton and 41 were having this bit of a tete-a-tete. So, talk about being philanthropic, I called both of them up. I said, you know what we're going to do, guys? I said, I want you to come down to my golf club, and Medalist Golf Club, and the three of us are going to do an exhibition match, and we're going to play with the members of the golf club. And I'm going to raise a bunch of money for you to send back to Bali for the Bali Relief Program. And they both agreed. In one phone call, they both agreed, yeah, we'll be there. So I got 41 and 44, right? Clinton was 44. 41 and 44, and we had the greatest 24 hours of our life. We raised $2.7 million in one day, and the membership. And this is what I love the most about America. You can hear all this bipartisan crap going on, but when you pull everybody together for the right reasons, the teamwork comes together. And we did that one. So
what do you see golf doing as world peace, basically? As you go around different parts of the world and you're designing courses and giving economic opportunities to dire poverty areas, how do you see that playing?
Golf is a Trojan horse. We deliver such economic impact around the world, whether it's a golf tournament with LIV, and I don't operate LIV anymore. I've been out of it for over a year. I had a 4-year employment agreement, and I didn't want to continue on with it. But the economic impact that golf brings to different regions of the world. I can talk about places. Vietnam is one place that I've been there for 14 years. I've worked with Prime Minister Phuc there from the very beginning. I said Phuc is the right way of pronouncing it. And he saw what golf could do. And he came to me 15 years ago. He said, Greg, how do we improve our tourism market? He said, we're basically a backpackers tourism market. I said, it's easy, Prime Minister. You've got some of the best coastline in the world, best beaches. You've got zero unemployment, zero crime, and you live right underneath Korea, Japan, and China. I said, they're going to have wintertime up there. You can come down. I said, why don't you just build the best golf course in the world? He said, can you do that for me? I said, I can try. So we built this golf course in the southeastern part of Vietnam, and it got voted #1 best golf course in the world. And subsequently, over a period of a couple of years, his tourism market went from a backpackers, which was a 1X, to a golf tourism market, which was a 6X. So here you have a third world country, communist third world country, loving free market capitalism by using golf. So he created a mandate. Back in those days, he wanted 78 of these facilities built around Vietnam. There's 48, 45, 49 of them built now. So when you think about that, that's one generation that I'll personally be involved with Vietnam, and we're still halfway there. So just by this guy's vision and wisdom and using golf, he's created nearly 50 years of wealth into his country.
As we wrap up this evening, let's talk a little bit about your philanthropy, charity work, and how it affects children.
Yeah, near and dear to my heart has been childhood cancer in the United States. I was sadly, I saw a friend of mine operated on a kid or an infant that sit in the palm of his hand. And the infant came from a cancer-ridden mother and had to obviously premature. And he said, look, I'd love to be able to figure out how to slow down the cancer mortality in children in the United States. And back, this was 35 years ago. Back in those days, it was 78% mortality in childhood cancer. So I started thinking about that, and because you get asked to do a lot of charitable work, I started thinking about that, and this is no different than this here. And what impact could I make to help this country and children? And so I dedicated 33 years with the Shark Shootout tournament of raising money. We raised tens and tens of millions of dollars. Now, we started off with just watching a baby in the palm of a hand, to where we got when I left, the Shark Shootout finished 6 years ago because of other things, we got that down to 28%. That's because of the investment dollars of people like you who come in and give the money to allow people to do research and development.
Well, let me just say this. We've had a chance of becoming friends for quite some time now and done a lot of things together, and always enjoyed being with you. I hope that you all have got a little bit of an understanding and maybe know this man a little bit better than what we knew before, just being the greatest golfer in the world, but being one great humanitarian who is now a game changer.
A game changer.
Thank you. And to his wife, Kirsten, and to his children and to his grandchildren, we thank them for allowing you to be with us tonight. Wish you best in your travels, and you'll always be welcome in West Virginia.
Thank you very much, Joe. And
Thank
you
you
very
all.
much, everybody. Appreciate it.
We're all happy to be a game changer.
Forget it. All right, I got to get this out. One more round of applause for the great white shark, Greg Norman. Right away, he talked about getting to the soul of it all, and I know that that's what we're all trying to do here in West Virginia through Game Changers, get to the soul of this crisis. So thank you all for being here tonight, and look forward to seeing you next year.